Hey guys, it's me, Lily. In case you didn't know, I have been reading the Harry Potter series for the very first time. I just finished reading the third book in the series, Prisoner of Azkaban. As you know by now, I have been splitting these videos into two, kind of. I have been vlogging my experience reading each book so that I've been able to capture my initial thoughts while reading it on film. Does that make sense? So I have compiled all that footage and I'll play it for you in a minute. You can skip to this time if you just want to watch that first. I was so excited to read this one in particular because this is one of the books in the series that I had absolutely no prior knowledge to before starting to read the books. With the first two, I'd already seen the movies as a child and I knew what was gonna happen in them. This one, I had no idea. I didn't know who the antagonists were gonna be in this story. I didn't know how the plot was gonna unfold. I didn't know any of the plot twists and everything caught me off guard because I just had no fucking clue. And I think it could be for that reason that I've enjoyed this one the most. I would definitely say that out of the three that I've read so far, this one is 100% my favorite. See, it's really funny because I know in my last video I said that Chamber of Secrets felt like it was a little bit darker than the first one, but this one, compared to the first two, is so much darker. The vibe of this book was so much different. Looking back at all of my vlog footage, I couldn't help but laugh at myself. Some of my theories were so frustratingly similar to what actually ended up happening. It's like I had it all figured out, but I also had no fucking clue at the same time. I really liked all the new information we got about the death of Harry's parents. We learned so much about it in this book, I feel. I mean, I still don't know why his parents were murdered, but now I know how Voldemort found them. It was because Peter Pettigrew ratted them out. Ratted them out? Get it? Because he is a rat. We did learn a whole lot about that. We learned about James Potter's friendship group at Hogwarts, how he was friends with Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, Peter Pettigrew, and they were a little group. And they fucking turned into animals. Also, in this book I found out what Dementors are and what they do, and also what Patronuses actually are and what the point of them is. Another thing that was really good about this book, Quidditch. Quidditch is so fucking good in this book. Oh my god, and you know what? I'll talk about the movie in a sec because I did watch the movie after watching this and I am so let down. The only Quidditch scene there is some shitty lightning storm. Oh, it did Quidditch so dirty. It was so good in the book. This is the book where they go back in time. I knew it was coming. That was one of the things that I said in my first video of all the things that I previously knew about the Harry Potter series. One of the things that I knew that was gonna come up at some point was them going back in time. And they use that necklace. That's what the necklace is. I've seen that everywhere and it's like a little hourglass. The whole subplot with Buckbeak, I feel like that was so much more profound in the book and it was a lot sadder in the book when Buckbeak died. I genuinely was under the impression that Buckbeak died. I feel like all of the Buckbeak scenes, I was more invested in what was happening with Buckbeak through the book because it was more prevalent. In the movie, they just kind of glossed over it and you don't really care that much about him in the movie. I feel like in the movie, a lot of things were just glossed over, which made them seem less significant. But in the book, everything is fleshed out so well that you are seriously invested in what's happening. All the subplots and all the characters, you just care a whole lot more. And I know it's a thing, the book is always better, and they had to cut a whole bunch of shit out with the movie to save time. I understand that. But you just don't get the same experience. Lupin's character, you know what's so dumb? I didn't catch on to that until they literally said, he's a werewolf. Here's the thing about Lupin being a werewolf. In the movie, it's kind of made really obvious that Lupin's a werewolf, and you're able to just figure it out straight away. However, in the book, they're really vague about all the little details that kind of clue you in on him being a werewolf. You know how Lupin's Bogart is a moon? In the movie, it's so obviously a moon, there's clouds floating around it. In the book, it's described as a silver orb. I don't know, for some reason, silver orb didn't equate to a moon in my head because I feel like that's not super obvious. And then with the whole Lupin being sick, I was more focused on the fact that Snape was poisoning him. I don't know why I didn't catch on to that. I was just so preoccupied with other shit that was going on and my stupid fucking theory about the cat, which you'll understand what I'm talking about in a minute. One thing that I really appreciate about this book, all of the character development and especially the development of Harry, Ron, and Hermione's friendship. It's kind of tested in this book. In the first two, there weren't really any like serious arguments or any fights that they had. In this one, there was like this rivalry between Hermione and Ron. And I feel like that's an accurate portrayal of early teen friendships. You fight with your friends over stupid ass shit, which is what they did in this book. It was quite realistic in that sense. One thing in particular I've noticed is Ron. Ron is really protective of his friends, and I feel like you see that the most in this book. I also love how, you know, if anyone tries to cross them, like whether it be Harry or Hermione or even Hagrid, Ron is so quick to jump to their defense, and he doesn't give a fuck like if he's gonna face punishment for it or if he'll get in trouble himself. It's like his instinct to just defend his friends, as well as the world building. As always, the world building in these Harry Potter books is my favorite thing. The world building is just done so well in this series. It's explained so well, it's really interesting. It's just my favorite thing. I think that's just going to be my favorite thing about Harry Potter. Yeah, I think that's probably all I'm gonna say in this part of the video, because I did get a lot of footage this time reading the book. I do want to quickly touch on the movie. Yeah, I think my main dislike for the movie came from, they made a couple changes in the movie that just didn't make sense. Lupin's potion thing is like never explained. So at the end when Sirius comes out and he's like, Lupin, you haven't taken your potion yet. And it's like, how the fuck would you know that he has to take his potion? You've been in Azkaban this whole time. You haven't been able to speak to Lupin, and the potion was invented while he was in Azkaban. So there's literally no way he would know about it. So I actually laughed at that scene because it actually doesn't add up at all. Okay, two things that just never get explained at all. James Potter and his friends being the Marauders. The other three turn themselves into animaguses because Lupin is a werewolf, so that they can like change with him. That's never addressed, so it doesn't even make sense why they just randomly become animals. You're kind of like, cool, they're secretly animals, but like why? Oh my god, the whole scene where he's like, oh, I saw my dad, and then it ends up being the Patronus. That, you never get to make that connection with like the stag, him seeing his dad in the stag. I feel like there were really important details that for some reason they just didn't put in the movie, and I don't understand why. That's pretty much what I thought of Prisoner of Azkaban overall. I really liked it. It felt a whole lot darker than the first two, and I feel like the series is just gonna get more and more. I'm starting to understand why people say the series gets darker as you go on. Yeah, so without further ado, here is all of the compiled footage of me reading the book in real time, with all of my initial reactions and thoughts. So I'll play that for you now. Every book we open with the Dursleys, and every book I want to like die. Well, they're on the train. You know the sneakoscope, that device that tells you when there's someone around you being untrustworthy or deceiving you? Well, they're in that carriage with that new teacher, right, who's asleep. On his briefcase it says R.J. Lupin. The sneakoscope has begun spinning. So obviously this new teacher is gonna be fucking evil. Is this gonna be a thing? Every book they get a new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, and every time they turn out to be evil. I think today I'm just gonna sit around and read more of this. About what I've read so far though, Hermione is doing like all these extra classes. I don't know, there's like something shady going on with this. She's talking about how her arithmancy class is so much better than divination, but like she hasn't been to arithmancy class yet. I don't know, I feel like there's something sus with that. She was reading her arithmancy book, she had it like propped open on the table. Unless she's able to be in two different places at once. I've already got a theory. I'm thinking there's something up with her arithmancy textbook. Maybe this is like some second generation Tom Riddle diary bullshit where it's like the diary's open. You know what I mean? She had her diary open like that. Unless she's able to like do that thing where, you know what I mean? Like you just open it. Maybe all the information just like soaked into her head by magic or something, you know? And it's like Tom Riddle's diary except a textbook. Gets sucked into the book. Able to attend class that way. Am I onto something? Probably not. That whole scene in divination with the Grim, Harry sees the Grim and it's like a death omen. I feel like there's just a whole bunch of foreshadowing going on right now, but it's like really obvious. Quite obvious that Sirius Black is after Harry. And then he saw that dog at the beginning of the book, and then that book in the bookshop where it has that picture of the dog on the cover and it's called Death Omens. If this fly will not chill. And now he gets the Grim and Professor Trelawney's like, oh, that's a death omen. The foreshadowing.
Can I just like rant about how much I fucking hate Malfoy right now? Hagrid gets to work as the Care of Magical Creatures teacher. Perfect job for Hagrid, by the way. Fucking Malfoy just has to ruin it. He gets cut by the hippogriff, right? This bird horse. But it's his own fault. And then he's like carrying on like a little bitch, trying to get Hagrid into trouble and trying to get him fired. He like comes into class with a sling. Like, mate, you were cut by a bird. Thing that is so annoying. Him and his friends were so quick to jump on Harry for fainting after seeing that Dementor. But like, he gets cut by a bird and then he has his arm in a sling and he's carrying on like an absolute bitch. Where do you get off? How can you make fun of someone fainting after a Dementor like tries to suck the life out of them, but then get scratched by a bird and like now you're out of business for a month? Like, but that's not embarrassing. Are you for real? So I just found out Sirius Black killed all those people 12 years ago. Harry's 13 in this book. Weren't his parents killed when he was a little baby, around 1 year old? Sirius Black is so connected to that. I'm so calling it right now. Just watch. That's why he's out of jail. That's why he's trying to kill Harry now. Fucking 12 years ago. I'm so onto this book. They just found the slashed photo of the fat lady. Peeves appears and he's like, he got really angry when she wouldn't let him in, you see. Nasty temper he's got, Sirius Black. Sirius Black is in Hogwarts. How the fuck did he get in? How is he so good at outsmarting these Azkaban guards? How does he do it? I want to know. Oh my god, this class with Snape is escalating. Snape goes, oh, what's the difference between a real wolf and a werewolf? Hermione raises her hand and Snape's like, wow, no one can tell me the answer. Lupin's such an incompetent teacher. Lupin hasn't even taught you this. He's so bad at his job. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, you skip to the back of the book, dude. Clearly no one is gonna have any clue because they're not supposed to learn it yet. Then when Hermione answers his question, 5 points from Gryffindor for being an insufferable know-it-all. Ron stands up and he's like to Snape, you asked us a question and she knows the answer. Why ask if you don't want to be told? This is a completely random thought out of nowhere. And if this ends up being the twist, I will like fucking jump off a building or some shit because I am a fucking psychic then. Why do I feel like the twist is gonna be something like Sirius Black morphed into Crookshanks and Crookshanks, Hermione's cat, is Sirius Black in disguise? I bet you the twist will be some bullshit like that. Honestly, just for the fuck of it, I'm gonna feed into my Crookshanks theory some more. Because why not? Sirius Black avoided being caught after he broke out of jail because he morphed into a cat. You know, and then he went into that pet store hoping he would get bought by a student going to Hogwarts. Like, that's how he could get in there and get to Harry. Oh my god, and that's why the Dementors went into the carriage that Harry was in. Because Crookshanks was in there and it sensed Sirius Black. Oh my god, and like, that's why the sneakoscope was spinning. Because Crookshanks in disguise. I figured it out! And that's how he got into the castle. And obviously no one's been able to detect him inside the castle because he's been a cat the whole time. The Dementors can't get into the school grounds. I think I figured it out. Holy shit, I'm onto something right now, aren't I? I have this Harry Potter series all figured out, bitch. If this doesn't end up being the twist, Sirius Black is Crookshanks. Like, there is no fucking doubt in my mind. Come on. It just makes sense. Why is Harry the only one that is affected by the Dementors? They keep going after Harry. And why is he affected by them so severely? Is it to do with the scar? It's gotta be something to do with the scar, doesn't it? I still stand by my theory from the last video. Like, there's some, I don't know, residue of Voldemort's powers or something like left in the scar when he gave it to Harry. Maybe that's drawing the Dementors to Harry. He transferred his ability to speak to snakes to Harry, so obviously there is some part of Voldemort's powers in Harry. In the scar, probably, like left over. I think that's probably why the Dementors keep going for Harry and why he's affected by them, because they sense like dark magic in him and that's why they go for him. James Potter and Sirius Black were best friends at school. He was Harry's godfather, so Sirius Black was their secret keeper. So he was like full-on best friends with James Potter. Wow, he just betrayed them. Wow, what a fucking dog. He just like betrayed them. They trusted him as their secret keeper and he was like their best friend for years and then he just was secretly working with Voldemort this whole time. What a traitor, holy shit. They're in the Three Broomsticks, by the way, like that pub, and Harry, Ron and Hermione are overhearing this conversation that the teachers are all having. They're just like going into all this backstory behind Sirius Black. That's what killed those people. I fucking knew it. 12 years ago, Sirius Black went to prison 12 years ago. It was on the same night. That's fucked. Harry just got gifted a firebolt broomstick. That goddamn sneaker scope going off again. Every time the sneaker scope goes off and starts spinning, Harry, Ron, and Hermione just ignore it. They just completely disregard it. The whole point of it is to tell you when someone's being deceptive. They just disregard it every time. They're like, oh, bloody sneaker scope. Just, I don't know why it just spins randomly. It's like, what? What do you mean? You've just been gifted a broom, an amazing broom for no reason. There's no return address on it. There's no sender name. And then the sneaker scope starts spinning. Wouldn't you just think, maybe there's something up with this? You know what, actually? I reckon we've been set up. I think this is all an elaborate ploy, and we're supposed to think that the sneaker scope is spinning because the broomstick has been tampered with. But the real reason the sneaker scope is going off, because Crookshanks is in the room. I'm not gonna let this go. The Crookshanks Theory, it's back. Okay, so they're gonna go get the broom checked out to see if it's jinxed. And Harry and Ron are mad about it. Why? Why would you want to ride this broomstick around when it's possibly cursed? If someone gave me a free, amazing broomstick, professional level for free, and they didn't write a sender name on it or anything, I don't know, I'd probably be suspicious of it. I wouldn't just be like, cool, and then just start riding it around and then die. I look like a mum. Yeah, I'm aware I look like someone's mum right now, but it's only just clicked now. Lupin's Boggart is a silver orb. I don't know why I didn't catch on to that before. I didn't realize that when he jumped in the way of it, it turned into his Boggart. I thought it just turned into someone else's random, someone else's fear was a silver orb or something like that, but I've only just realized after. I can't get over how much I look like a mum. Silver orb. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of weird. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's just some kind of magic device or something like that. Also, Lupin is kind of shady. Hermione smacking Malfoy is my favorite thing. I don't know what has gotten into Hermione in this book, but I like it. She just storms out of Trelawney's class because she's not having it. And now she's just smacks Malfoy across the face. She's just taking no shit this year. I'm just gonna say, Lee Jordan is probably one of my favorite background characters in this entire series. I think he's friends with Fred and George, I think. He's the Quidditch commentator. He's just a pisser. He's so funny. I love him. Quidditch has been so good in this book. I lost my glasses, so my eyes are fucked, but the scene I'm reading is so intense that I don't want to stop. Okay, basically what's been happening, let me just fill you all in. Buckbeak got executed. Then they're running away. Scabbers is being difficult. Jumps out of Ron's hands and runs away. Ron chases him, runs into the Whomping Willow. Then they get attacked by a fucking dog. Drags Ron into the Whomping Willow. They end up in the Shrieking Shack, which is obviously where Sirius Black has been living. I'm honestly devastated that my Crookshanks theory was wrong. Don't talk to me about it. I mean, he's allies with Sirius Black, so he's still untrustworthy. He's evil by default. Then Lupin comes bursting into the room, and then he takes the wands out of Harry and Hermione's hands, disarming them because they were in a position to kill Sirius Black. And this is where I'm up to now. Yeah, Lupin comes in, and he looks at Sirius, and he goes, "Where is he, Sirius? What do you mean? Why are you on a first name basis? Is he evil?" Another Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher that turns out to be the bad guy. I thought he was helping us. I thought he was on our side. Yeah, anyway, yeah, that's where I'm up to now. I'm just gonna do what I did before and just keep reading because I feel like some shit's about to go down. He hugged Sirius Black! He's evil! He's a werewolf. That makes so much sense. Of course he's a fucking werewolf. I feel like an idiot. How did I not get that before? He looks disheveled all the time, and he wears raggedy clothes that are ripped. He always gets sick randomly, once a month on a full moon. His Boggart is a moon, isn't it? A floating silver orb. That's a moon. That's a moon. Oh, dude, that's why Snape taught them about werewolves when he took over for Lupin. Because he was trying to get them to learn the difference between real wolves and werewolves, and with a focus on how to detect the difference. He was trying to get them to pick up on, oh, wow. He assigned that essay hoping someone would realize what my symptoms meant. If he assigned that essay hoping someone would figure it out, How come he was so salty that she was being a know-it-all? Remember how he called her an insufferable know-it-all and took points off her house and everything? Mate, you were trying to get someone to figure out that he was a werewolf. Like, wouldn't you want Hermione to be a know-it-all and figure it out? That man doesn't make any sense, honestly. He wrote the Marauders Map? He helped make the Marauders Map. Lupin is saying that he was watching them come back from being at Hagrid's after Buckbeak got executed. He goes, 20 minutes later you left Hagrid and set off back toward the castle, but now you were accompanied by somebody else. I thought the map must be malfunctioning. How could he be with you? Who the fuck? Then I saw another dot moving fast towards you labeled Sirius Black. Listen to this, okay? I saw him collide with you. I watched as he pulled two of you into the Whomping Willow. And Ron goes, one of us. And Lupin says, no, Ron, two of you. Dude, no. Crookshanks Theory, except Scabbers. Someone transformed into Scabbers. Am I right? That's not a rat. He's a wizard. I knew it! An animagus by the name of Peter Pettigrew. What the fuck? I think I'm gonna take a break from reading because I'm getting like way too into it. I'm stressed. This book is stressing me. This series is stressing me. So I'm up to chapter 18. Let's just keep going. My eyes really hurt. I need to get my glasses back. We've got to explain. They're working together. Lupin is working with Sirius Black. Wait, I don't understand what is going on. I'm still so confused. Ron kept him as a pet. If he is some other kind of wizard in disguise, if he is Peter Pettigrew in disguise, has he been Peter Pettigrew the whole time? Oh, that's fucked if he's been keeping him as a pet for 12 years. There used to be 3 unregistered animaguses running around Hogwarts. So does being a werewolf count as being an animagus? Because you turn into a wolf? If they're not the same thing, then who is the third one? Sirius Pettigrew. Wait, so he couldn't be an animagus as a werewolf because he doesn't have control over himself when he's a wolf, but Sirius did. So who's the third one? James Potter is the third one. He turns into an animal as well. Oh, so they all wrote the Marauders Map. They were like a friendship group at Hogwarts. They were like a group of friends. Wait, is this why Snape doesn't like Harry? He especially disliked James. Jealous, I think, of James's talent on the Quidditch field. Is that seriously why Snape hates Harry and hates his dad? This is really interesting, learning like all this history. Wait. Snape was in the room the whole time! Wow, fuck off. Snape put on the invisibility cloak and followed them in. How long has he been there? Okay, I just want to say one thing super quick. I don't know why they decided to let Peter Pettigrew go and they're gonna like send him to Azkaban. That doesn't seem like the smartest decision to me. When you think about it, we've just found out how Sirius Black got out of Azkaban. Like he transformed into his animal self and then that's how he was able to get past the guards. Peter Pettigrew was in the room the whole time. He would have overheard it. He's essentially just told Peter Pettigrew how to break out of Azkaban if he ever went there. Because he's an animagus as well. If they just let him go to Azkaban, he's just gonna know how to escape. They should have just killed him on the spot. What the fuck just happened? 1 second it was all happy days. Harry's godfather escaped out of prison and now he's gonna get to go live with them and he's not gonna have to live with the Dursleys anymore. And then Lupin transforms. Everyone's trying to fight him. He runs away. Sirius runs off. I don't know if Sirius is dead or not now. Rat Boy got away. Snape is just floating in the air, like unconscious. How did everything just take such a turn? What is this ending so far? It went from like, Lupin's evil to, oh wait, no, they're good guys. The rat is evil, like plot twist again. We don't have to live with the Dursleys anymore, yay. And then plot twist again. Never mind. Pretty sure everyone's dead. How does that happen? I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna stop reading now. So I finished the book last night. I really liked that time turner scene. It was really cool. Like the things that they did influenced earlier events in the book. I don't know. That whole concept was like really interesting though. I like that. It was really cool and really well executed. One thing that I just had to pull out my camera and like talk about right away because it just dawned on me right now that this was never addressed again. Sirius Black, if he's supposed to be this good guy after all, and like he wasn't trying to kill Harry this whole time, blah blah blah, one thing that was never addressed, even in that whole conclusion, I was waiting to see if this was going to be addressed, even in his letter at the end, but it never was. Why did Sirius Black have that knife? You know that scene where he's standing over Ron at nighttime with that fucking knife? It never gets mentioned again. There's no explanation behind it. If he was supposed to be good this whole time, why? I don't know if that was like a dream, but it wasn't a dream because he like, I don't know if this gets explained later on. You know what? And it probably never will be addressed in later books.
Well, there you go. That was me reading Prisoner of Azkaban for the first time. Definitely my favorite of the series so far. Thank you for following my journey, and I will see you soon in my next video. Have a great life until then. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.